But listen, again, I say thank you again for tuning in with us tonight. And we hope to have a dynamic show this evening. I know Satan is ever so busy trying to come up in here and steal our joy, Carlos. He's trying to mess with this little bitty.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, huh?
He's knocking that thing down.
He's trying to keep on pushing us down. You see how that works?
Ooh, there it is.
Maybe it works next time. There you go, hopefully.
Beautiful.
So anyway, again, thank you for tuning in. We're going to calm ourselves right now and get into this show. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We want to talk specifically with our friend Carlos, who has been extraordinarily faithful in his efforts by bringing different resources to the west and south side, which we really believe in, Carlos and I. Really believe in bridging not only the gap between the south side and the west side, but bridging the gap between the cultures, Latino and African American. So we really have been anchored on that thought for some time. And we've been, of course, working feverishly out here on various different initiatives. You all know about the Youth Council. You all know about the internship. You all know about the outreach. You already know about the pop-ups. You know about the health screenings. You know about the task force. So we've been working on this side of town just to continue to bring to those who are mostly in need resources that are desperately needed on the west and south side of Chicago. So we thank the mayor for her efforts of investing in the South and West initiative, and we ask those who are out there watching today to join a organization, join a group, be a mentor to somebody. We have some young folks that's in here with us, kicking off a new season, FY23, with some young new faces and some new energies. We still have some of our young people still cheering it out with our President Vernicia and our Vice President Hanisha. So we got things rolling on this end, and we're going to get into some dialogue with Carlos, and we're going to talk about a new initiative that we've been working on for a few years now. And the whole purpose of this initiative is to reduce alcohol and other substance abuse, particularly with our young people. We've been trying to focus on and have been focusing on young people between the ages of 16 to 24. And so we want to talk to this evening specifically about community empowerment. We want to talk specifically this evening about how we can come together as a group, how we can come together to empower our young people. How can we come together as community stakeholders to assist our young people in living their best lives, i.e. reducing underage drinking, substance abuse, addressing some of their mental health issues, and also providing them in a safe form, a safe environment where young people can speak for themselves. I think, Carlos, that's the most important thing that we can do.
You nailed it.
Is to give these young people a non-judgmental environment where they can be young people. You know, it sounds rather archaic, but I'm saying it for a fact. These young people just need to be in an environment where people nurture their concerns. I mean, help them, not scold them, and not necessarily minimize their thoughts. But anyway, Carlos, I thank you again for always being so faithful and always coming out to all that we're doing. We got another event we got coming up on the 23rd. It's going to be a summer health screenings resource fair on the street on Madison and Kilpatrick. I mean, we've done a series of these. We started kicking those off last year, and they've been extraordinarily successful. People love the fact that we bring in resources to the table. We have folks that's going to be involved, like Black Men United, Gift of Hope, UIC, Women of Self-Love, HSI, Gus, Good to Pleasure Bakery. It's a list of so many folks. I hate to miss anyone. But listen, get in touch with Fathers Who Care at 773-287-5821.
Can I add that it's set to music too? I mean,
yeah. Go ahead.
You can't help but move when you're at this event.
Listen,
people gravitate towards it because people recognize the energy and the kindness that's coming forth from all the people that you've recruited to be involved in these events. I'm just so grateful.
Well, we do have a robust list of folks who will be there this time, and some of the faithfuls, and we're going to come back to that same spot a series of times, like we was doing with the homeless. So we've kind of not necessarily took our eyes off the homeless population, but we were able to do some work with some other organizations in the creation of, I think it was October year 4, this will be second year October, that the Chicago Coalition for the Homeless was created. So I thank God that they are out there now doing the work, and you still got the night ministry, you got Threshold, you still got a lot of other groups who are still over there. And so we really are not just trying to displace those folks who are already displaced in these tent cities. We're trying to provide them with some additional intervention and support, and hopefully get them acclimated to wanting to live inside, you know, because a lot of them still don't.
Correct.
You know, but we've been back there a couple of times since then. But anyway, Carlos, I want to just thank you again for coming out. Carlos,
thank you for having me.
You are the program director for West Carroll, Illinois. And Carlos, I just want to go ahead and get into the show, have some nice conversations, talk about some good things that we're doing together, talk about the 7 challenges, what's the purpose for the 7 challenges, what can these 7 challenges do to empower our young people, why it's important for us to continue to promote these initiatives that are assisting our young people in coping with some of the ills that are impacting them in the community because they're going through. And they're trying to do their best with what they got. Sure. So, Carlos, let me just ask you, you know, this is just a term that we use to try to ascertain your passion. Okay. So we just want to know, we know your name, we know where you work,
yes, you do.
But tell us, Carlos, why do you do what you do?
You know, it's thanks. First of all, thanks for having me on the show.
Not a problem.
And you know, I actually will say that you are one of the reasons I do what I do. When I see people committed to trying to solve problems that our society has, and let's make no mistake about it. You know, our society is filled with a lot of dysfunction, right? Mm-hmm. Whether you look at systemic racism, you look at homelessness, mm-hmm. Climate problems, right? You know, I learned early on, especially through my father and some of the elders that I grew up with, that if you can't contribute to the betterment of humanity, what's your life for? As I became a man, I started learning more about that. I saw the disparities in my home city of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It actually attracted me to learn more about how society works. I learned about Mayor Washington's campaign in Chicago, and that's actually what got me out here back in 1989. I know my wife is going to say, "You're always saying you're here in 1980," but that's the truth. You know, he had passed away, but the passion for serving the community and trying to change the way society functions has always burned deeply in me.
And I believe that, and I think you know, I believe some folks really are called to do some work. Some people do it because they get paid to do it. I believe that we're doing this work because we really have a profound love for empowering our people, and that we know that we've been called to this season to be that light in darkness. I mean, it may sound rather theologian. That's a good one. However, I do really believe that certain people we're just called to do certain things, and you can't get away from it, right? You know, but anyway, let's get into some of these questions. Carlos, I actually brought you here today to talk specifically to you about this new program that we're running called the 7 Challenges. And for those who may not know what the 7 Challenges is, I want you to take us down this journey on how is the 7 Challenge different from any other alcohol and or drug substance prevention program?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And again, first of
all,
one
of yours.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
I learned about this program back in the late 90s, and I almost became obsessed with it because one of the things that I was taught was that you don't tell people how to think, but you actually stand there side by side with them and become a problem-solving partner. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the challenge in itself are holistic, right? So, you know, the people that we work with recognize that even though it's set up to do drug and alcohol prevention and intervention, mm-hmm. most of the time we're talking about a person's whole life, and that's what I love about it, right? The 7 Challenges is so let me back up a little bit. So, you know, sometimes when young people are told that they've got to do a group or they've got to go to drug counseling or treatment, right? They're usually being forced, whether it's by the courts, parents, the school, they might have gotten in trouble, right, mm-hmm. for an incident. And the beauty of the 7 Challenges is that we undo those negative expectations, Okay, let me say something brief about that, right?
Right.
So when a young person comes, if they, for example, if they say, "Man, marijuana is the safest drug in the world. Why should I stop?" We praise them for being honest, right? That's the first challenge. The first challenge says we decided to open up and talk honestly about ourselves and about alcohol and other drugs. And so the kid immediately will respond, "Well, I'm not going to get in trouble." No, because you're telling the truth, right? The challenges want you to dig deeper, though. So we're gonna be caring adults, but we're gonna be curious adults, right? So we're not gonna judge them, but we're gonna say, hey, let's try to get underneath why the drug and alcohol use, or in the case of the youth that we're working with at school, how can we prevent that use? How can we cope with life stresses and other things that might pop up so they don't hurt themselves?
Right, and so, and I think, I heard some of the young people talking, when they're in an environment with folks who are really listening to them, who are allowing them to voice their concerns, who's not judgmental, who's really open to allowing people to be, well, these young people, to be who they are, where they are, but also allowing them to take ownership of who they are and what they're doing. And then coming around and build up that trust factor, which is what these young people are really seeking. They're really seeking someone who's not necessarily overbearing on them or confrontational, or won't allow them to be young people, which all they want to do is be young people. So what I hear these young people constantly saying is, we do have a voice. Right. Our voice do matter. Exactly. You don't understand what we're going through. It ain't like what it was when you all were young. Right. But it's hard for some folks who really don't deal with young people to understand that. Correct. So let's go back and talk again. What you were saying specifically about the opportunity that we have now to bring something new, something creative, something, it's not just one-dimensional. There's different facets to folks' involvement. Right. And we really echo or really are trying to address those concerns that young people, now we understand the significance of what we're talking about on reducing underage drinking, substance abuse and all that. We understand the dynamics in that, and we may not get 100% in 2-3 years, but we may get 30. We may get 20% decrease in some of the attitudes and norms that these young folks are facing, which is what we're trying to do, because real change takes time. Right. But let's come back. Okay. Why does WestCare partner with folks to present the 7 challenges to these young people in the community, in the schools? Why is that relationship important? Yeah, well, one of the things we recognize is that we want to meet people where they're at, right? So your organization, Reverend, other organizations in the city are more deeply connected and rooted in a community. And what we want to do is we want to support the work that you're doing, amplify it, and bring more resources, right? We feel strongly that an organization like Fathers Who Care has a better opportunity of grabbing that audience. I think the other thing is that we've seen the activity that you do. You're very encouraging. I call you the tireless organizer, motivator, connector, right? And so this ability, it's true. It's this ability to get into the community, assess the needs that are there, and meet them, right? I've heard you refer to our young people at a time as babies. I think one of the things that I so admire about that is you do see all of the young people in our community as our children, as opposed to those are your kids and I can't be bothered with that, right? That you've recognized that in order for our community to be safe, you have to guarantee that the poorest child or the child that is most neglected gets taken care of. So what WestCare did was they applied for this grant with the federal government and approached Grand Boulevard Prevention Services on the south side and said, we want to hang out with you for, in the short term, 5 years, to be able to meet over 500 youth, to invite them into this program, help you, work side by side with you, doing outreach, community education, right? And after the 5 years, we want folks to go, hey, you know what? If I got a problem, I can turn to Fathers Who Care. Now, granted, you already have a reputation, right? But we want to amplify that even more so people recognize, you know what, I really want to help out this organization because it really meets the immediate needs
of the not just the youth, but the community at large. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and that's why I think it's effective, because we're working collaboratively to bring some of our best practice, resources, relationships to bear. I'm a strong believer that you don't recreate the wheel.
No, right?
You know, let folks who do what they do what they do, and let's oil the chain. Right? Let's collaborate. Let's bring our best practice together. Let's be transparent. Let's be accountable. Let's share. Let's open up with each other. Let's support each other. Let's keep on giving each other the support that they need in order to do what it is that they do. Okay. But let's go down here. What are the ages? I think I may have alluded to it earlier, because I was talking about the internship program and bringing this in, but why are we targeting 16 to 24 years?
Yeah, 16, 24 years old is really important. It's a key transition period in a young person's life, right? In our society, we say that when you turn 18, you're considered an adult.
Right.
However, you and I already know that because of our studying of science, is that when it comes to human development, that brain is still developing up until age 25 and even later, right? And so we call this group the bridge group, right? And there can be a lot of problems. I think back to when I went to college as an 18-year-old young man. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, what my purpose was. I just wanted to please my parents, because they were like, they didn't,
right.
Can you go to college, right?
Right.
And so, so we want to make sure that we're walking side by side, especially with those young people that are at most at risk of maybe falling off track. And so we're going to hit them not just with this program where we help them with positive decision making, but we're going to connect them with resources, job development skills, resume writing, right? We want to introduce them to activities that are pro-social in the community. I've been going on, I felt like a rich man last summer with you when we got on, Lake Michigan and doing some yachting. Things that I was never exposed to it, and I certainly know these kids haven't. Matter of fact, two of the kids that we brought from the South Side and connected with West Side youth, they had never even seen Lake Michigan. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
you live in the city of Chicago.
Yeah, I can.
Matter of fact, when I first saw Lake Michigan, I thought it was an ocean.
Yeah,
coming from New Mexico.
I really can relate. That's why and I think it's really important that we expose these young people.
Yeah.
To the city in a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, some young people you're absolutely right. It's real. It's real that some young people have never even been on a boat, have never even been to the lake, have never even, I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Some inner city young people have never ventured out to even walk downtown on the lake.
Correct.
So I agree with you on that. But I'm going to come back and ask this question.
Yeah, please.
What is the 7 challenge? The group, what is the group actually like?
Yeah, you know what, I love this group because it's actually run by the young people themselves. We'll orient them. Matter of fact, I love it when a young person comes in and there'd be one of the youth is nervous, the youth is just coming in, they'll immediately say, Carlos's job, Princess's job, Destiny's job, Catalina's job is not to tell you how to think. Okay, they're never going to tell you that drugs are bad or you should do this and you should do that, but they are going to challenge you on your thinking, right? They're going to have you weigh stuff out, right? So when they come to a group, they know they're going to do some work that day, right? So we do a check-in from 0 to 10. 10 was a happy day, 0 a crappy day, right? And then we ask them what hasn't been going so well over the last week in their life, and that's what we work on. It might be drugs, right? They might have gotten in trouble at school. It might not be. It might be they're having a conflict with a girlfriend or a boyfriend, a parent, a teacher. It might be, man, it's so hard for me to get from point A to point B because of certain gang situations and things. And so we're going to put our collective heads together as adults. We're going to help them and have their peers give them feedback, right? Sometimes there's role playing. Sometimes we have fun activities, right? That's the other thing too that you should know, right? We have 5 agreements in our group, right? We're going to have safety, so there's confidentiality, no put downs. We're committed to each other to help each other, not just in the group but outside of the group. We respect each other, respect our differences, and are open to them. We hold each other accountable, right, for our words and deeds, and then of course we want to have fun. That's what the thumb stands for, right? So we're going to have activities outside of the school consistently. Sometimes we might have games inside of the school, and we'll bring food. We want to engage them in all of their senses. We're talking about human beings, right?
Right.
We want to really make sure that they understand that this is an experience.
So talk to me and tell me let's go through the challenges, all
Sure.
right?
Okay.
Let's go through, there are 7 challenges, right?
Correct.
And I'm assuming that each one of these challenges have an attribute or a discipline associated with it. Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, the youth will have a journal that they use. It's a journal that actually helps them think a little bit deeper. Remember what I said a while ago about brain development, right? That brain, that prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that helps you think rationally, weigh things out, isn't fully developed. However, it's there. Right? And so we want to engage that through reflective writing, and we respond every time they write in the journal on every page because it shows them we care. So we want them to engage with that, okay? Each challenge itself, apart from the journal, is to be used at the discretion of the youth. So I could come in, I'm not going to work these in order. Unlike 12 steps where you have to go in order, right? The 12 steps is the goal is abstinence, right? 7 challenges, the goal is how do I make healthier and wiser decisions about my life? Notice how I didn't say anything about drugs, right? We also think about healthier and wiser decisions around drugs or alcohol. Hey, we make no mistake about it. Kids are going to experiment. They're going to end up at parties. There's going to be stuff there. So we want them to be able to recognize that. So each challenge helps them unlock a part of their brain that helps them approach life, right? First challenge, we mentioned already, being open and honest, right? That's the foundation of the group, right? Not just about drugs and alcohol, but about your life. The second challenge is we look at what we like about drugs and alcohol and why we use or why we tried it if the kid is not using. We look at the potential harm. That's the third challenge. Sometimes young people will say, "Hey, man, this marijuana doesn't hurt anybody," but they don't sometimes have the perspective that it could be scaring their little brothers and sisters, or their parents are worried about it. That's harm. Sometimes I've had young people who had to go to court and their parents had to miss pay from work to be in court. That's a harm, right?
So you're on 3.
That's 3.
So we're going to come back with 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Let's do
but
it.
Right now we want to talk specifically about an event we're doing on the 23rd of July. We will be on Madison and Kilpatrick. It would be our annual summer health series. We're going to have all kind of free screenings, interaction, food giveaways, resources, people having fun, music, you name it, we're going to have it. We're going to have the folks coming together. We're going to bring love, peace, and understanding on the west side of Chicago, particularly on Madison and Kilpatrick. And we just want to encourage some of you young people who are interested, like you nice young people out there. We want to encourage you all to come on out there and fellowship with us and have some fun on the 23rd. It's going to be fun. It's going to be free food, free resources, all kind of things going on. And we want to encourage you young people, those who are actively involved, to come on back to Fathers Who Care so you can join our youth council, rejoin our youth council. Some of you all have gotten out here and with the work, and some of you all are doing some other things. And that's good. That's what we want you to do. But we also want you to come back and mentor and provide peer leadership to some of these young people that you're in the program with. And so we got a program called the Internship, Too Good for Violence, where we're training young people, work readiness skills, job development skills between the ages of 16 to 24. And we're able to connect you with resources that we know of that will provide you with $125 per week. 12 for the ones in school, 12 hours for the ones out of school.
That's great.
15 hours. So there's opportunities for young people. Please quit talking about there's not an opportunity. Give us a call at 773-287-5821 and ask for Princess or ask for Ruby or ask for Miss Judy. Now I'm going to come back. We were on 3. What is 4 of the challenges?
Yeah, I love 4 because 4 is very, very encompassing of things. It talks about taking responsibility for problems, but also recognizing some of the problems you have may not be your fault, right? That doesn't mean we got to ignore them. We're going to help you work through them so the young person's able to identify the problems. The 5th one is about your hopes and dreams. We looked at where we are, where we're headed, where we'd like to go, and what we'd like to accomplish, right? And so if a young person says, hey, I'd like to go to college, we're going to fight like heck to make sure that we help them with those steps to get there, right? Whether it's with applications to schools, taking them on visits, whether it's to Malcolm X College or another city college or even UIC, we're going to be there side by side and it doesn't have to be school. It could
so
be a
you're
trade
on
school.
5.
Right.
Now, you brought up Malcolm X. We're doing a community day at Malcolm X on August the 6th. We're also partnering with Malcolm X on providing some of these young people with some additional outreach and intervention over at the Westside Center. So we're encouraging young people, please, if you're interested in returning back to school and you're interested specifically in the medical discipline, we want to encourage you to choose Malcolm X because we're really blowing up the good work that Malcolm X is doing, not only on Damon, but over in the inner city, on Madison, at the Westside Center. So give us a call if you're interested in some of the programs. So go back, you're with 6 now, correct?
Yeah.
What's the 6 challenge?
The 6 is great. 6 is about making thoughtful decisions about your life. Okay. Maybe about drugs or alcohol. Sometimes we do role playing in this one. Okay. Sometimes we'll sit there and do a cost-benefit analysis of things they want to approach. I remember one time there was this young man who sheepishly said he wanted to ask a girl out for a date. He was waiting for his peers to tease him. Interesting enough, a lot of these guys had anxiety too, and they were waiting. And so we did a little role playing, and then we followed up the next week. How did that go? So the thoughtfulness was, how can I respectfully approach this young woman? Okay. As well as, how am I going to conduct myself as a young man responsible?
And 7.
And number 7, following through on decisions, right? Okay. If we make mistakes, then we go back to the earlier challenges so that we can master them. It's as simple as that.
So how could a young person, I know, they're watching. How can a young person who really want to get involved in some of these programs or even this initiative on the 7 challenge, how could they learn more about it?
Yeah, well, they definitely want to call me or email me. They can do that. Yeah, I'm at carlos.rodriguez@westcare.com, or you can call my number at 312-568-7051. And there's no obligation to join either. I want to encourage people to just contact me. I will return every call if I don't answer the phone. I'm going to spend time with a young person, time with parents, time with teachers to explain this, right? I love it. I think we've had so much success with the program. We just recruited 2 young people to be stakeholders for our grant, right? They completed
with
the
youth sector.
Yeah. They completed the program. They love it so much. It was music to my ears to hear one of the young women today say, you know what? I kept coming back because you listened to me. You were some of the first adults.
So with them being part of the youth sector, correct?
Correct.
Of the stakeholders, that gives them an opportunity to sit down with some of our seasoned professionals to kind of get acclimated to what we do.
Bingo.
You got it's 7:28. We got about a minute left, and I just want to encourage those who are watching. Listen, get in touch with Father Sakura. Thank you, Charlene, for watching. Thank those of you who are watching. Listen, we ask that you tune in next week. We're going to have a major show next week. We're going to be talking specifically about the creation and strengthening of the Westside Behavioral Health Task Force. Nice. We're going to talk about programming and activities that we're going to be partnering with the city of Chicago, with the state of Illinois, and with the federal government to bring all of these partners together to address some of these issues. Now, I know folks are doing a whole lot of stuff that they do, and I'm happy for you. I'm just saying, let's bring some of the partners who are on these different levels together so that we can really bring about systemic changes in our neighborhood and bring those resources to bear from whatever level they are to the inner cities so that we can address those who are being impacted by this. I mean, folks are really clinically going through some things. I mean, they really are, and all they want is a chance. So I just want to encourage those of you who are watching tonight to get in touch with Westcare, Illinois, get in touch with Father Sakura, get in touch with Grand Boulevard on the south side. That's one of our partners out there. I'm saying to you, there's no reason why we don't have young folks actively involved. There's young people meeting every Thursday on Zoom. Give us a call at 773-387-287-5821, or they can come in on Zoom, or they can come in person. They have young folks that's been in person, but the pandemic's still alive.
Yes, it is.
This virus is not gone.
No,
So we're encouraging folks to practice, social distancing, wear your mask and all that other good stuff, but we want you also to be safe. And so God bless you. The time on the wall is saying that it's about that time. So Carlos, as always, it's my pleasure. Can you show me one of those books? Because we couldn't get it up there.
Yeah, here's the book right
That's
here.
one of the books.
And these are some of the journals that the young people use.
Those some of the journals.
And then this is a
so this is a whole
reader,
series
it's
of
a whole series of
okay.
tools that we use, and actually the youth choose it themselves. As a matter of fact, we have over 100 activities in this book that allow young people to get up and moving and have a great time when they're in group, because we believe so strongly that young people learn better through doing as opposed to just
absolutely
talking.
They have to be hands-on.
Yes.
So with that being said, listen, thank you so much. We know that if we kind of held you on just a little bit, and it was intentional. We really wanted you to hear about what we were doing and how excited we are about what we're doing, and we want to encourage those of you who would like to volunteer, who would like to join our coalition. We meet every month. Our young people meet every Thursday, and so we want to encourage you to, if you got young people, please let your young people come on out if you want them in a safe, caring, nurturing environment. And listen, we'll do our best to be our best to make sure your young people can improve their quality of life. So listen, God bless you. God keep you. Good night. Keep the faith. We'll see you next week. And if you're interested, give us a call at Fathers Who Care, 773-287-5821, or log on to fatherswhocare.org. Or they can log in to Westcare.
Westcare.com.
Westcare.com. So God bless you. Good night. We'll see you later. Hey, Leroy, I see you. God bless you. Good night, and we'll keep it moving until we see you again. Take care.
Thank you.